It is Sunday night, and you know what that means. It is SNL GTE season number 9, round 2 at Sardinia Raceway Reverse. We're at Sardinia A here in Italy, a completely made-up track for the game. And it's round number 2 after an exciting round number 1. If you didn't watch it, go back, look at the archive. We've got it on the YouTube page. Like, share and subscribe. Thank you already, those that have liked this broadcast already this evening. So, looking currently at Slenderfella, who is out fastest on circuit right now in his Jaguar Racing by Pizza, but leading the championship after his win at round number 1 is Ajax in the Salt Rock Hyundai. He pipped Matt Psycho in the Raven Senna Lamborghini. Victory Reigns team, the current champion, has become a team boss this season, and it was Matt Psycho who took second place last time out. They were closely followed by Speckmere, who is not on circuit right now that I can see. Yes, he is. There he is in the Supra. This is Chris Boo's team, Shadow Realm team, in third with 20 points. Aloe came in fourth. There he is in the orange Aston Martin OC. He has 18 points. Bunnies then came 5th in his Jaguar Racing by Pizza with 16 points. Slenderfella followed his teammate home for 6th place with 14 points. Ragemus Prime, making his debut in GTE, came home 7th in his orange Aston Martin OC. In 9th place was Rob on drums in his Supra with 8 points. 10th was JJ Trim, making his debut in GTE. There he is on track right now, driving for Team Shadow Realm. Kaiser Grimm also made his debut and finished in 11th. In 12th place, making his debut too, was Craig OB in his Lamborghini. He has 5 points. 13th place was Blood Raven with 4 points in his Pizza Jaguar. In 14th place was Pool Shark in his Lamborghini, and unfortunately, again, it looks like the same for Yorkas. Connection problems. I don't know what is going wrong with him right now, but there's some issues with his connection. For some reason, cannot join my lobbies. I don't know why, so I might have to fix that somehow going forward. Anyway, qualifying today is a little bit earlier. We're 2 minutes away from it. It is a 20-minute session, a brand new format for round number 2. It sees the bottom 5 in the championship run for the first 5 minutes. They are joined then by the next 5 in the championship. And then finally, the last 10 minutes, everybody else is on track. So the first 5 minutes will see Kaiser Grimm, Craig OB, Blood Raven and Pool Shark out on track. Unfortunately, Yokas unable to join us. Again, as I say, some disconnection problems. Again, disconnection points will come to him. We'll have to sort something out maybe next week. Somebody else possibly taking host of the lobby. But there we go. That is the standings in the drivers. In the team championship, it's Orange Aston Martin leading with 40 points, followed by Team Shadow Realm, who are second with 35. Jaguar Racing by Pizza, Gazman's team have 34 points. Salt Rock Hyundai have 33. And finally, Raven Senna Lamborghini have 30 points. So only 10 points separating all the teams. In terms of the ties for this round, I'll explain them when we get into the qualifying session as a whole. But I will see if everybody is ready in the lobby for the session, and I'm going to have to change the settings. I just remembered I haven't changed the settings to say 20 minutes. There we go. So the event settings have been changed, ready for us to go. So there we go. Just waiting for everybody to enter. Looking a bit cloudier this session as well compared to the previous one. The skies are looking grey. In terms of the tyres, whilst we're waiting for people to join the race, I think everybody is entering. Jaguar Racing by Pizza Pizza. Raven Senna Lamborghini and Orange Aston Martin OC are running the softs and the hards. Whilst it's softs and softs for Team Shadow Realm in the Supras, very strong last time out, so Spec Me is looking for a victory possibly this evening. And finally, Salt Rock Hyundai have the mediums and hards. Let's just check everyone is entered. Oh, just need JJ Trim to enter. And then we'll get the qualifying underway. So the first 5 minutes we'll see Kaiser Grim, Craig Obi, Bloodraven and Pool Shark running. There we go. So starting qualifying then. For those 4 drivers to start off the session, we will see what happens, because they will have lighter fuel by the end of the session compared to their rivals. They also get a little bit more track time too, so they can get up to speed as well. So let's see who is going out then. Qualifying session begins. Kaiser Grim, who we're on board with, should be going. So a few drivers are going out. There we go. Kaiser Grim is going too. So let's see who is out ahead of us. So Pool Shark is going to be our chauffeur. So through turn 1, quite a fast turn 1, and then hard braking right turn, 90 degrees into turn 2. It's a tricky little corner. This circuit not designed to be driven this way round. It is the choice of Victory Rain as well, the team boss of Pool Shark. Here we have turn 3, straight into turn number 4, down the hill to turn number 5. It is all looking very, very tricky. Victory Rain in the chat saying be mindful of turn number 1. It is very harsh. I think he said that. Anyway, it's not appearing on my live chat. Yes, he is. He's saying be mindful of turn number 1. Indeed, everybody should be. Chris Boo is in the chat as well, saying good evening everyone and good luck. Now we're going into the right-hander. Jockus is trying to get in still, but it's not working for him. Really don't understand, Jockus, why we can't get you into the lobbies. Okay, here we have turn 9 into 10. We're getting towards the end of the lap now. Turn 11, the little kink coming up. Here it is. Nice and little lift actually into the 12, 13 and then 14, 15. There we go. Down the straight then towards the end of the lap. The Lamborghini leading the way. Soft tyres for him. Bloodraven also on softs. Mediums for Kaiser Grim. Sarlek in the chat. Good evening, Sarlek. Saying evening all. Good evening, Sarlek. We miss you. Hopefully we'll see you back on track here at SNL. Craig O.B. there in the Lamborghini. Things are a bit busy. Pool Shark then kicking over a bit of the dirt in front of Bloodraven's face. So Jaguar unable to see the Lamborghini actually. Oh, and we see how tricky some of these corners are. Salek saying hopefully so. Oh, well, Loe's managed to leave the session. Hopefully he can get back in. I think he can get back in. Once he's entered and gets back in, that's hopefully everything okay. So Kaiser Grim is in third on the road. And there we go. Another mistake on this circuit. It is proving hard. This turn at the top, turn 9, it's so tight. The car's having to go down into first gear. Through that section, you can see Bloodraven is having to kick the dirt up into the air. Pool Shark is leading the way on circuit as of now. We're still 2 minutes away from the next 5 drivers, who will be Slenderfellow, Ragemus Prime, The Punisher, Rob on drums, and JJ Trim to go out on circuit. They'll be coming out at 5 minutes. Pulshark, though, kicking up the dirt again, so these drivers will manage to get a couple of laps before their rivals come out on circuit. So Pulshark sets the time of 43 for him, 43.7. Bloodraven does not beat him. So Pulshark currently leads the field with 1:43.744. The American leads the Canadian. Bloodraven, the Swedish driver, Kaisergrim, puts himself up into second only, just though, beating Bloodraven. And then coming down the home straight goes Craig O.B., puts himself up into second. So currently the Raven Senna Lamborghinis are first and second. Pulshark ahead of Craig O.B. Kaisergrim is in third in his Hyundai. The medium tyres not working for qualifying, possibly for this session. Bloodraven, though, in fourth place. Going into, again, that very tight right-hander. Turn number 9. Leads onto a longish straight. Turn 8 is this kink. Just there. Going down the hill towards the... Another tight right-hander, which Pulshark has just negotiated. It's coming into the left-hand turn. Number... Yes, I have. I think I've put the circuit the wrong way round. Yes, I have. That's very clever, Jam. I can't believe that. So all the numbers I've been telling you, dear listener, are wrong. I can't believe I've done that. Turn 8 stays the same. There we are. Everything is good. So we've got cars coming out on track again. So we've got JJ Trim coming out in his Supra. We've also got the Punisher coming out onto the circuit. Rob on drums in 7th. It's coming out too. Not everybody's come out, but it looks like Slenderfella's still in the pits right now. He can go out. He's waiting possibly for some space. So Pulshark is still on pole. It's at the 43.0. Kaisergrim pulled up a little bit more time, a 43.4 for him. Bloodraven, 44.8 still, is his fastest lap on the previous run through. So these 5 drivers coming out now. I think Slenderfella is out. Yes, he is. He's out now. He's given it a minute on his rivals, so deciding to give them a chance, maybe a little bit of clean air as well for him. Ragemus trying to heat his tyres up. Rob on drums coming towards the end of the lap. That means that JJ Trim must be coming out to the final corner. Yes, he is. So JJ Trim will be the first driver out of this group to set his time. So what will happen? Pulshark will come through again to finish another lap. So they're starting their first laps, and Pulshark is on lap number 4. The American looking to extend his advantage. He's getting quicker each lap, about 4/10 each time. What happens with Bloodraven coming down? And he's pitting. He's coming into the pits, so some fresh tyres for him, it would seem. Kaisergrim keeping going. Improves his lap time. Thank you everyone that's joined us for this qualifying session. We are here at Sardinia in the reverse setup as well. Craig O.B. improves his time by nearly a second. So improves a lot there. So it is JJ Trim, the first driver out of the next 5 on circuit. So this is his first lap. In comparison to those in front of him on the timesheet, they're on lap number 5 right now. He's currently on lap number 2 as this session goes through. The Punisher looks to be quite close, in fact, to JJ Trim. So having a good run. JJ Trim using that super well. Punisher, though, looking very quick on board with the Canadian as they go through the final few corners. Turn 13, turn 14. Now is Aloy unable to join the session? Aloy, have you tried to enter the session? Because I think it will allow you back in. As the Punisher puts himself up into second place. JJ Trim goes down to 6th place as Rob on drums goes into second. So Pool Shark right now in first place. Not improving though on that lap. So hasn't improved this time around. Let's have a look. Kaiser Grim coming to the end of his next lap. Has he improved? No, not quite. Craig O.B. Okay. So Craig O.B. improves his time. He stays in 5th, nearly getting Kaiser Grim. So we were about 30 seconds away from the whole of this grid, apart from Aloy, unfortunately, having a bit of technical issue joining the qualifying session. That's unfortunate. The car not deciding to start, so he'll start at the back. Ragemus, though, goes on to pole right now. A 1:42.4 for him on his first flying lap, but that is beaten instantly by Slenderfella in the Jaguar. So first is Slenderfella, second is Ragemus with Pool Shark third in his Lamborghini. He's had an accident though, but he's gone quicker in the first sector. That is frustrating for him because he's got damage. He won't go any quicker now. He might decide to bring his tyres up to speed. So it looks like everybody else should be coming out. Matt Psycho is out on circuit. Ajax is coming out too, as is Speckmere and Bunnies as well, as drivers start to improve their times. They're coming out. As Bunny stays to the left-hand side. JJ Trim up to 4th place now in his Supra. Pool Shark does pit this lap as Rob on drums in 5th and the Punisher in 6th. Kaiser Grim is 7th. Craig O.B. in 8th. Bloodraven so far, this is his first lap on a new set of soft tyres. He'll be hoping to put himself further up the field. So everybody is here on circuit now. Let's see. Craig O.B. puts himself up into 4th. A good lap from him, showing that everything is running very well. Bloodraven improves his time. Where does he go? He's closing up. He's only 0.8 of a second off the pole position time set by his teammate Slenderfella, who's crossing the line now. Does he improve the pole position mark? Yes, he does. Wow. By 0.4 of a second, 1:41.9 for him on that previous lap. What is the attacking field? So Matt Psycho just about to start his first flying lap now. So that shows you, as Slenderfella is on his 4th lap, Pool Shark is on his 7th lap. He's got Craig O.B. behind, just having a little bit of an issue. He's gone off. He's got damage on the rear. He's just driving slowly along the straight. And it looks like the same is true for Bloodraven. JJ Trim puts himself up into pole position now. A 1:41.8 for the Brit. His teammate Rob on drums puts himself up into 5th place in his Supra. So this pace is starting to increase as we go through the session. Pool Shark is there. Craig O.B. is deciding to have a little bit of rest. Kaiser Grim coming into the pits. So JJ Trim right now leading the field. That Psycho in his Lamborghini on the soft tyres, trying to grab that pole position. I know Matt Psycho is under the weather today. A little case of that whole COVID infection back. I know how it feels to race with COVID. Having done that in Formula X, it was not successful for me. Let's see what Matt Psycho can do around a circuit where you are on full power for quite a while. Slenderfella in second, only just though 500ths of a second covering him and JJ Trim, who is currently on pole in that Supra. Let's see at the end of the lap though, Matt Psycho looking for pole position. He's not going to get it on this lap, but he puts himself up into third place. So third place for him. Ajax goes into 11th place. So the race winner last time out goes into 11th. Speckmere in 8th place for him. As we look through the field, Bunnies puts it on pole. Wow, Bunnies just onto pole position. So the top 3 positions covered by less than a tenth of a second. As it stands, Bunnies in pole, JJ Trim then 400ths behind, and then only 500ths behind JJ Trim is Slenderfella. Only 3/10 of a second between Matt Psycho. The Punisher is then in 5th in his Aston Martin. He's less than half a tenth behind. Mama Sykes in the chat saying, "Hi everyone, hi Jam, let's have some good racing, something like the Grand Prix today. Go guys, fingers crossed, Matt." I don't know the result of the Grand Prix on the site, so please don't tell me. With everything going on, I watch the Channel 4 coverage here in the UK, and obviously I'm doing this as it's been broadcast, so there we go. So Poolshark currently 8th. Ragemus Prime, where does he go? He puts himself on pole position by nearly a second, a 140.9 for him in that Aston Martin. He is looking to put down a marker. Bunnies in second is now 8/10 of a second behind. A lot of these drivers are coming through. Now you can see the difference as well. So here is JJ Trim. He's about half a tank full of fuel. Matt Psycho improves his time, but stays in 5th. He's a quarter of the tank of fuel burnt. Whilst if I go... I've lost somebody. Speckmere puts himself up into 2nd. While Poolshark is just over a quarter of a tank left. Bunnies improves his time as well, a 141.6 for him. So it is all working very nicely for Ragemus Prime, looking for his first pole position in GTE. He's 4/10 of a second down on his best lap though. Ajax 2/10 up on his best, so he's closing the gap. Bunny's pushing. What can he do? He's 4/10 up as well, so he's pushing hard. All of these drivers are trying to improve. JJ Trim in 4th place in the Supra, just ahead of Slenderfella. The gaps between these drivers are incredibly tight. Matt Psycho in 6th. 7th place is Ajax with the medium tyres on the Hyundai. The Punisher is in 8th. Poolshark puts himself into 9th place with his last lap, and that is 0.02 of a second ahead of Rob on drums. The whole field look like they're going to be covered by about 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds, covering the whole field. Bloodraven into the pits again for another set of fresh, soft tyres. Mama Sykes in the chat saying, made-up circuit? Yes, Mama Sykes, it's Sardinia. It is a made-up circuit based near the river. Matt Psycho puts himself up into 2nd place as I talk to his mother. She'll be happy about that. Oh, running very wide out of turn 1. Full commitment from him. Matt Psycho just 1,000th of a second ahead of the Supra of Speckmere. So 3rd place for Speckmere. It's incredibly tight between these drivers. Slenderfella looks like he's said, right, that's me done. I can't go any quicker than that. I'm going to decide to have a bit of a break and a rest before the race starts. So JJ Trim there in 6th place. He's got a car behind him. That's Bunnies. So Bunnies right now, it's got a bit of traffic. He knows the qualifying system as well. He can't overtake the car in front. He's got hope. Well, it's half a second up following JJ Trim. Oh, JJ Trim runs wide, so Bunnies goes past. That might work well for the Canadian as he chases down Ragemus Prime, who's on an out lap. So that is Pool Shark saying I was up on my best by 0.6 and crashed. Pool Shark not happy with that. Pool Shark in the pits. He's in 9th. 0.6 seconds. Well, that would be about a second off, so he would have gone into 7th place with that lap. So Ragemus has made it across the line. Oh, just about getting out of trouble going through turn 1. What does Matt Psycho do? Can he put it on pole? He does by 2 thousandths of a second. These gaps are unreal between the drivers. What does Speckmere do? As Ajax improves up to 7th place, Speckmere puts himself within a 10th of pole. They've still got time to finish their laps. Bunnies puts it on pole by half a tenth. 500ths of a second between him and Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho's parked it up, so that means his lap is over. Ragemus Prime, though, will be able to finish this lap. So will Speckmere on his lap. JJ Trim too. As Ajax, he's down on his best. The Punisher just crossing the line now. What does Rob on drums do? Can he improve his time? Looks good. Yes, he does. He puts himself more into 8th place. Very well done for him. He's just ahead of the Punisher, who's 9th. Got Pool Shark in the pits right now. Craig OB is in 11th. Kaiser Grim is 12th. Pushing hard. Bloodraven getting up to pace is there in 2nd place. Teammate Bunnies in the Jaguar Racing by Pizza looking for pole position here. His first one of the season. He's up on his previous best. Ragemus does not improve his time. He's on fresh softs as he goes across the line. I wonder if he's put more fuel in the car as well to finish the lap. JJ Trim will be one of the first drivers to cross the line. Bunnies too. Got a car in front going over the line now as a watch to see. Doesn't improve its time. Bunnies then to improve his pole position time. What does he do? He doesn't improve it. JJ Trim does not improve either. Ajax has finished his lap. The Punisher is just coming to the end. Oh no, he's just run wide out of the final corner. So it doesn't look like he'll improve his time. No, he won't. Rob on drums pushing hard. Can he get Ajax in these final moments? It's looking good for him. He does improve, but not quite enough to beat Ajax. So, a Canadian on pole, and it is Bunnies in the Jaguar Racing by Pizza. Gasman will be celebrating that in Scotland. 2nd place, Matt Psycho in the Raven Senna Lamborghini. 3rd is Ragemus, but he's got the end of the lap. So actually, I thought everyone had finished, but Ragemus could put it on pole here, taking it away from Bunnies in the dying moments. It's going to be close. No, not quite. Wow. These top 3, I think, are covered by a 10th. The top 4 are covered by 0.14. Speckmere is in 4th. And a bit of a gap to Slender Fella in 5th. JJ Trim in 6th. In his Supra, we have Ajax, top medium runner, in 7th. Rob on drums is 8th. The Punisher is 9th. Pool Shark is 10th. 11th is Craig OB. Gaz in the chat saying, love the new quali format. Let's go Team Pizza. And Kaiser Grim in 12th. With Blood Raven in 13th. It's a nice session, I think. It'd be interesting to see those involved if they enjoyed it. Let's take a screenshot of these quickly. There we go. Oops. So, on pole position is Bunnies in his Jaguar Racing by Pizza. He is closely followed by 0.052 seconds by Matt Psycho. 0.054 seconds behind is Ragemus Prime. Matt Psycho and Ragemus covered by 0.02 of a second. Speckmere is in 4th place, 0.1 seconds off pole position, and he's 4th. 5th place is Slenderfella in his Jaguar Racing by Pizza Pizza. JJ Trim makes it top 6 for his Shadow Realm Supra. In 7th place is the Salt Rock Hyundai by championship leader Ajax. In 8th place is Rob on drums, also in his Supra. So Chris Boo will be looking at that, saying 3 cars in the top 8. That is perfect. The Punisher is in 9th place in his orange Aston Martin OC. Paul Sharp makes the top 10 in his Raven Senna Lamborghini. 11th is his teammate, also in the Lamborghini, is Craig O.B. Kaiser Grimm is in 12th in his Hyundai. 13th is Bloodraven, and unfortunately 14th is Aloe, who will have to start from the back of the grid. So I'm going to have to. Will it let? No. So we end the race. I get everybody. Oh, we've got Yokas in the session, so that's good. There we go. So we've got Yokas in the race, it seems. So Yokas was unable to make the session. So we'll get the session ready. So I'll just go back a little bit in my stream just to get the drivers up for the grid. Enter, please. So a few drivers just waiting for them. Just waiting for Ragimus. So Yorkas will make it onto the grid. That's great to see. And then we'll get the grid arranged. So Matt Psycho saying he can just about do a lap before coughing and losing concentration. There we go. So let's set the grid. So on pole position was Bunnies. In second place was Matt Psycho. In third, Regimus Prime. In fourth, Speckmere. In fifth was Slenderfella. In sixth place was JJ Trim. In seventh place was Rob on drums. And in eighth place was Rob on drums. Seventh place was Ajax. Where is he? There he is. Eighth was Rob on drums. Ninth place was the Punisher. 10th place was Pool Shark. 11th place was Craig O.B. 12th place was Kaiser Grim. And 13th place was Bloodraven. 14th is Aloe. And Yokas is in 15th. Okay. Let's see if everyone is ready for this race. 38 laps here at Sardinia. So hopefully we get a clean race. Everyone takes it easy into turn number 1. There's some chat going on in their live chat too. Victory Rain saying it is difficult doing hot laps when you're under the weather. Matt Psycho saying it's an effort not to lose vision during his laps. Unbelievable stuff going on there. So let's see if we can go. It's going to be a good race, I'm sure. Let's start the race. So 38 laps here at Sardinia. A full grid here in race number 2 of the season. with Yokas joining us for the first race of his season. So, Sardinia, round number 2 of season 9 of GTE. Bunny's on pole, Matt Psycho in second, Regimus Prime in third, fourth with Specmere, 10th covered those in qualifying, Slenderfella 5th, JJ Trim 6th, Ajax 7th, Rob on drums in 8th. We have 5 lights and we are go here at Sardinia. And it's a good start from Bunnies and also Matt Psycho, but Prime is looking good too. Regimus Prime gets himself up into second place, getting the jump on the Lamborghini in that Aston Martin as everyone goes through turn 1. Oh, there's a Lamborghini in the wall already. One of the Lamborghinis is round. It's Craig OB and Rob on drums and a Lowy. A red flag is called by Rob on drums. Do we get it from 3 other drivers? Rob on drums saying red flag. Do we get it from the others? Doesn't look like it. Red flag from Aloe too. So are we going to have our red flag for the race? Bunny's leading. Second is Ragemus. Matt Psycho is in third. Fourth is Specmere. Ajax is fifth. Slenderfella 6th. We've just seen a little bit of accident happening with Pool Shark. Having a bit of an incident there with the Punisher. No red flag being called by Craig OB. So Craig OB did not call the red flag, but at the front it's Ragemus taking the lead. So Ragemus takes the lead from Bunnies. Bunnies is on the hard tyres at the start of this race, so the softs are for Ragemus. Bunnies on the hards, Matt Psycho is on the softs, so Bunnies is doing a Matt Psycho from round number 1. Specmere is on softs too, with Ajax on medium tyres. And Slenderfella in 6th place on the hards too. So it looks like the Jaguars are running this hard setup. So Ragemus is leading the race, but under pressure. Matt Psycho has got Specmere getting past him. Specmere moves himself up into 3rd place. Ajax is in 5th place on the mediums. So he's happy with that. Ragemus leads from Bunnies with Specmere having a little look up the inside, a little tap between the 2 drivers. And Psycho under pressure though from Ajax. Ajax puts himself up into 4th place. The Hyundai driver has had a brilliant start from 7th on the grid. He's up to 4th on lap number 2, ahead of Matt Psycho in 5th. Slenderfella is in 6th place in his Jaguar. 7th is JJ Trim. 8th is Kaiser Grim. 9th is Yokas. Under pressure from the Punisher. Go on board with the orange Aston Martin. Yokas having an accident though, and he's just gone ahead of the Punisher. The Punisher losing out to Rob on drums there. So Yokas having a bit of a moment. Those tyres are hard for him, and it's hard for him to keep on going forwards with that momentum. Craig OB in 12th. Lowy is in 13th after the incidents. Bloodraven is in 14th, and Pool Shark is at the back of the field. 2nd place is Specmere. Specmere's got himself up into 2nd. As in the background you can see Ajax fighting his Hyundai. And Slenderfella under pressure now from JJ Trim. JJ Trim getting the inside line through turns 13. And he puts himself up into 6th. In the Hyundai, moving forwards is the fast Brit. So, at the end of lap number 2, Specmere has the fastest lap of a 1:43.0 in the purple Supra. It's the orange Aston Martin that leads the field. Regimus Prime leading here, but he's under pressure. The very fast Specmere. Specmere has a lot of momentum in comparison to the Aston Martin through turn number 2. Holding position, going faster, 1.1 seconds quicker is Ragemus. Is Specmere than he was on his previous lap. Ragemus will be feeling the pressure. These top 3. Is in the background. Ajax has gone off. He's hit the wall. Slenderfella then smashes himself into the wall. trying to get the momentum. That means that Kaiser Grim has got a run on his teammate going down this long straight. The damage on the front of Ajax, will he be under pressure from his teammate? Not quite. They hold position. Ragemus, he's under a lot of pressure from the Supra behind him. Ragemus leading the race, but Spekmir is incredibly close behind him. And in the background, Bunnies under pressure from Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho doing what JJ Trim did on the previous lap, making a move through turn 13. Through the final corner they go. Let's have a look at the front two go over the line then. Ragemus leads the field. He's just gone quicker, but Spekmir takes that fastest lap off him straight away. The Supra being covered in gravel as Ragemus pushes hard in the Aston Martin. These are the top two in the race. They're pulling away slightly from Matt Psycho. The gap is 4 seconds. In the background, you can see Matt Psycho leading the way ahead of Bunnies, who's actually under more pressure from JJ Trim than the pressure he's putting on Matt Psycho. In the background, you can see Ajax and Kaiser Grim in the Hyundais. 8th place is Slenderfella. 9th is Rob on drums. 10th is the Punisher. 11th is Craig OB. 12th is Yokas. Aloe moving up. There we go. Into 12th. 13th is Yokas. So he is having the baptism of fire. Paul Shark in 14th, and 15th is Bloodraven. At the front of the field, pulling away slightly, is Ragemus, having a bit of a better lap, possibly, than his super rival Spekmir. So soft tyres for Spekmir. Soft tyres as well for Matt Psycho. Hards are for Bunnies, softs are for JJ Trim, and he's putting the pressure on the Canadian in front of him through 13-14. Bunnies kicking up the gravel once more. Pressure being put on. Medium tyres are on Ajax car. Hards are on Kaiser Grim, but we're looking at the battle for 4th place. Will JJ Trim be able to make a move into turn 1? Does he feel confident enough? Slenderfella into the pits already, getting rid of his hards. Bunnies hits the wall and has caused damage, surely, to his car. Yes, he has, on the right front. He goes down to 5th place. He'll be under pressure from Ajax soon enough. Let's have a look further down the field. So Rob on drums is on the soft tyres. Of course he is. It's the only tyre the Supras are running this evening. The Punisher also on the softs. Craig OB on hards. Aloe is on the soft tyre. Yokas is on hards with damage. Bloodraven is also on the hard tyres. Slenderfella has just done a stop. He's on the softs. And Bull Shark running on the hards in these early stages, but back at the front of the field. Ragemus has set the fastest lap on the previous lap of 42.0, but it looks like Spekmir has caught him up on this one. The gap between them only 0.7 of a second as they push on through the final sector. Spekmir all over the back of the Aston Martin. The tyre wear is very similar on the two cars, but Spekmir has got such a run on the Aston. Does he improve the fastest lap time? Based on this, it looks like he will. Yes, he does. He takes the fastest lap. Will he take the lead into turn 1? He has a look, and he goes for it. He makes the move. Wow! What a move by Spekmir. Bravery throughout. He defends the inside line then and puts himself into the lead of this race ahead of Ragemus. Ragemus then hoping to keep his cool, looking round the outside. That would be a brave move. We'll go down the hill now. The two drivers ahead of Matt Psycho who are fighting, just making the gap a bit smaller. JJ Trim in 4th place in his Supra. having his best showing in GTE. Chris Boo in the chat saying, great move, buddy, to his driver. Speckmere, Bunnies is in 5th place, feeling a bit of pressure from Ajax. Chris Boo saying, that's my boy. It is. Speckmere leading then for Chris Boo's Team Shadow Realm. Super looking good here. They're on soft tyres throughout this race as well. So they're looking to be very powerful at this circuit. Ragemus, softs and hards for his Aston Martin. The same for Matt Psycho. JJ Trim though, all softs throughout this race. Bunnies is on the hards, but he'll be using softs later in the race. His brother Ajax keeping him honest, medium tyres on that Hyundai, so actually a tyre advantage for the Hyundai driver. He's catching up, he's in that slipstream. Kaiser Grim in 7th, he's on the hard tyres with Rob on drums on the softs. Just behind him, Rob set his best lap on the previous lap, not far off it that time. The Punisher in 9th, and then we have Fredo B and Aloe. He's down in 11th. Aloe got involved in an incident on the first lap. I don't know what happened there. There was a call of a red flag by 2 of the drivers, but not the 3rd. Bloodraven is in 13th. Paul Shark in 14th. Yokas now is in 15th place. Speckmere right now is leading the field in his Supra. Ragemus in 2nd, Speckmere is 1st. The church in the background on this, the holiest of days, Sunday. Because, well, it's Sunday night league. Of course it is. Like, share and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We're here every Sunday for the next 5 weeks. Round number 3 next week is at Barcelona. Some people say, oh no, Barcelona's boring. Well, it's without the chicane at the end, and in Group 3 cars, it's an incredible circuit. So Ragemus in 2nd place with Matt Psycho chasing him down. Matt Psycho actually did the fastest lap briefly on the previous lap because Speckmere's just taken it away from him. A 141.476 for him. Matt Psycho did a 141.488, so only just missing out on the fastest lap. Matt Psycho right now. This driver has COVID. JJ Trim is in 4th, with Ajax now ahead of his brother Bunnies. So Bunnies being overtaken by the Hyundai driver. Rob on drums is targeting Bunnies next. Super looking quick in his hands. Kaiser Grim having a little bit of an off possibly previously, a 46.7 for him. The Punisher, he is fighting some tyre wear now. Such a hard circuit here. Victory Rain knew he was setting the bar high for these drivers. Aloe in 11th place. Fortunate with his qualifying, but for some reason got knocked out the room. Then an incident early on. He's 11th right now, playing the long game with everything going on. Speckmere is 1st, Ragemus 2nd. These top 3 now covered by 2.5 seconds. Long way away, I think, from the first pit stops for these drivers as well. We've already seen a stop though. Slender Fella has done a stop. He's on the softs. He's trying to do something a bit different. It's ahead of Bloodraven, who hasn't stopped yet, and Paul Shark and Yokas. Yokas having a little bit of issues around this circuit. Another fastest lap from Speckmere. He is pumping out the purple lap times right now. Past 4 laps, a 41.5, a 42.8, that was a little bit off, but a 41.4 and a 41.3 for the Shadow Realm driver. And he's going purple once more. Speckmere is one of those drivers who can just set lap times consistently. Ragemus, though, is going with him, trying to keep the pressure on. 41.5 for him last time out, 41.7 for Matt Psycho, so he's keeping on with this pace too. JJ Trim, 42.7 for him, just falling back a bit now. He's got quite a comfortable gap though with Ajax, 4.5 seconds between him and the Canadian. It's Matt Psycho's putting the pressure on board now as we enter Rain in the chat saying, got to throw a wild card in every now and then. Unfamiliar layouts level the field. They definitely do. Definitely do. Oh, that Psycho running wide. Definitely don't have any specialists of this circuit, I'm sure. I wonder how many drivers drove this circuit before it was put on the calendar. Ragemus, though, second place. Speckmere, another fastest lap. He's in the groove. And the thing is, he's got soft tyres throughout this race, so if he can keep this groove happening, he could be a very happy man at the end of the night. Matt Psycho having a little look at the Aston Martin ahead of him. Lamborghini looking very sleek. Compared to the very tall looking Aston Martin, it's not a tall car, really. Just shows you how low that car is. Matt Psycho struggling to get it stopped though, following closely behind the Aston. Let's have a look further through the field. Bunnies is under pressure now from Rob on drums. A 43.2 for Bunnies on the last lap and a 42.3 for Rob on drums. So Rob on drums in his Supra moving up the field too. Haha, I've seen Goku on the back of his car too. He always pops a little Goku on there. And there he is, left hand side of the rear view, or the rear window should I say. He's putting all the pressure on Bunnies. Will he have a cheeky look going into the next corner? Not quite. It doesn't look like. Thank you everyone that's watching us so far this evening. Like, share and subscribe to the Sunday Night League. We're here every Sunday for GTE action. Kaisergrim has got 9th place. Well, he made an overtake on the Punisher, but not quite. Lowy has now moved himself up into 10th place. His tyres are starting to look a bit worn. He's not having the best of evenings tonight. Bit of bad luck with the connection and then falling back. And there we have Yokas back in the SNL, back in GTE. Not having the best of evenings though on those hard tyres. 4.5 seconds up on the field though is Speckmere leading the race. He's quite happy. Oh, Speckmere, what are you playing at? Lap number 10, a 41.8. It's 1.5 seconds quicker than Ragemus though. Pulling away nicely. Here's Speckmere. He has won a race all the way back in season number 4, nearly 2 years ago. For Speckmere with that victory in the Ford GT. That was at Daytona. Ragemus second place. It's got Matt Psycho, who's won quite a few races in GTE. Hasn't won a race yet this season. The only driver ever to win every single race in a season. The season 1 and 2 champion. Hasn't won a championship since then. JJ Trim in his second GTE race. Currently in 4th. Quite happy right now. Ajax in his second season of GTE. Driving the Hyundai. Leading the championship. Bunnies in 6th place is under pressure though from Rob on drums. It's just put his fastest lap though. Bunnies 42.9. So Rob on drums is making Bunnies go a bit quicker. The Punisher is in the pits. He is unable to put that fuel any further. Kaiser Grim also in the pits. Fuel not lasting for him. Lowy has a bit more fuel, but he's got Slender Fella all over the back of him. Slender Fella will be looking for a move into turn number 1. Here he goes, the Jaguar, racing by Pizza up the inside of the orange Aston Martin OC. And Slender Fella takes the 8th place from Lowy, but will Lowy come up the inside into turn number 2? He'll have a go. He plants it on the apex, but Slender Fella holds the outside line, and it's a lovely move by Slender Fella to put himself up into 8th place. Yokas is getting lapped by these drivers next. Speckmere leading the field, coming to the end of his lap number 12. Ragemus is going to pit this lap. Matt Psycho, will he pit and follow in his rival and get a jump, or will he go an extra lap? We will see. JJ Trim will have to pit this lap. Speckmere not pitting. He's going another lap. So Ragemus into the pits comes the Aston Martin. Matt Psycho does not follow him in. JJ Trim definitely will be pitting this lap. Ajax nowhere near pitting. Interesting. Bunny's also not pitting this lap. He's saving fuel, it would seem. Rob on drums is in 7th. Goes the extra lap, puts himself up into 5th now. Slender Fella moving up, as we see Yokas moving out of the way. For Slender Fella, Aloy is there in 9th place. He's got Yokas just ahead of him, having to go wide through turn 15. As we see there, Bad Dragon. I didn't realise you liked Land of Raw, Chris Boo. Weirdly, that has a character from the Mauritius in it. Ragemus Prime then 8th place. Still up there. Aloy puts himself up into 7th, but he will be stopping this lap. Ragemus in 8th then, feeding out behind his teammates, but he's run wide, it looks like. He cannot get the hard tyres up to temperature. That is going to be an issue for these drivers. Craig O.B. looks like he's going to get past. He does. So Craig O.B. on his hard tyres, they are warm, but he then hits the wall. So that's going to mean Ragemus gets the run going down the hill. And Ragemus puts himself back into 8th place. He's got to get these tyres up to temperature. As Speckmere comes in now. Matt Psycho 2 comes into the pits. But it doesn't look like Ajax is coming in. Ajax is going a bit longer. Bunnies will be coming in this lap. He's got rid of the hard tyres in a difficult run. Rob on drums will be coming in too. Slenderfellow, a bit of a gap to them. So Ajax puts himself up into 1st place and does his fastest lap as well, of 42.6. He is 1.3 seconds off the fastest lap of the race. Bunny's still going though. He will continue. So he's deciding not to stop this lap. Where then will Speckmere come out? He's getting his fuel load in. The fuel is very slow here this season in GTE. Slenderfella puts himself up into 3rd place with that early stop. He's off kilter with everybody else. So he is going to lead this race at some point. Speckmere out on circuit once more, back on the soft tyres. That Psycho 2 is on the softs. So Ragemus with his hards, he's lost quite a bit of time to his rivals. He's lost out 6.5 seconds to Matt Psycho. JJ Trim coming out of the pits, and he has 7th place. He's actually caught up with Ragemus slightly. Rob on drums out in 8th. He's jumped Kaiser Grim, who's had a big accident for Kaiser Grim. So he's had a big off. The Punisher in 10th place overtakes Kaiser Grim, who's hobbling along. Pool Shark will be in on this lap. Lowy just exiting his pit stop, so he's on the hards now. He gets out on circuit. The Punisher is also on hards, so that is a tactical run there by the Aston Martins. Craig O.B. is on hards, stayed on the hards that he was running, so not going onto the softs. Bloodraven goes onto the soft tyres. And Yokas in 15th. In comes Bunnies in his Jaguar Racing by Pizza Pizza. All Canadian sponsors as well on this car, which I didn't know before, I do now. And Craig O.B. has lost the room. Oh no. That's awkward. Is that a disconnection? Slender Fella in second place. Specmere just falling back actually. Bit by bit. Trying to chase down Slender Fella maybe a little bit too hard, possibly. Seeing walls being scraped. Matt Psycho in fourth. Oh, Ragemus has hit turn one. That means JJ Trim goes past him. The hard tyres are not being your friend, Ragemus. Currently in sixth. He was leading early on in this race. He's on the hards, but remember, everyone else around him has to run the hards. Bunnies does not, though. Bunnies now has soft tyres all the way to the end of this race. But he's been chased down by Rob on drums, who has softs throughout the race. So softs for those Supras. Kaiser Grim in 9th. He's ahead of the Punisher. Aloe moves up into 11th. Pool Shark is in the pits in 12th. Bloodraven on an outlap. He'll jump as into the pits comes Ajax. No fuel left for him in his Hyundai. Waiting for him. There he goes into the pit box. No tyre change for him. Slender Fella will pit as well. So Slender Fella actually won't lead the race. I thought he would. But no, not to be the case. So Slender Fella in 2. So Specmere retakes the lead in his Supra. Leading the field. Matt Psycho in second place. Craig O.B.'s managed to get back into the room, but unfortunately he won't be able to join the race anymore, as out of the pits goes Ajax. Ajax goes into third. Craig did mention he might have to go out if he got a certain call, family emergency. I hope everything's okay, Craig. I hope everything's okay. Ajax is there in 4th place then. He's managed to jump Ragemus in all of Ragemus's hard tyre issues. We then have Bunnies in 6th with Rob on drum 7th. Kaiser Grim is 8th. 9th though, oh, the Punishers hit the wall hard. That's that turn 1. Drivers have to be careful. Slender Fella puts himself back up into 9th place. Punisher losing time. Aloe is in 11th. Bloodraven is 12th. Pool Shark is 13th. And in 14th place is Yokas. It's a lap down. Blue flags are waving for the Polish driver. Looks like JJ Trim, who's in 3rd place, is catching him up. So Specmere leading currently then. Shadow Realm have 2 drivers on the podium. Specmere in 1st, JJ Trim in 3rd. They have 3 drivers in the top 8 as well. So they're driving very well together. Matt Psycho in the Lamborghini sets the fastest lap of the race of 1:41.0. So he's on a mission. Monocytes will be cheering him on, I am sure. JJ Trim getting a bit of a tow from the Hyundai. Ahead of him, which is Yokas. Let's see, a few drivers now. Ajax, Ragemus, Bunnies, and Rob on drums, all in the same shot. So 3rd to 7th, it looks like. Bunnies has caught up massively then on Ragemus. So softs versus hards. The hard tyres on the Aston Martin, the softs with our Jaguar. Ragemus really struggling to get this Aston Martin turned into the corners. Hard tyres not being his friend. Bunnies knows what that feels like. Bunnies might get a run on the exit. Going down the field. Is in the background, Rob on drums. Looks on. Mama Sykes in the chat saying, foot down, Matt. Well, it's foot down for Bunnies because he puts himself up into 5th place. And Victory Rain in the chat saying, unfortunately, Craig did get a disconnect, which could have been a possibility in this race. So that's unfortunate. Disconnection points as well then for Craig OB. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, Speckmere's responded to Matt Psycho's fastest lap. He did a 41.059, just 11 thousandths off Matt Psycho. 41.1 for Matt Psycho on the previous lap, so Matt Psycho lapping very, very consistently. JJ Trim just a little bit slower than his teammate and Matt Psycho, just dropping back, but he's still in 3rd place. Would be the podium. Ajax is currently 4th. Didn't change his tyres on the previous lap as Bunnies has to take avoiding action as Yokas hits the wall. So Yokas having damage, really struggling with the car. Speckmere in 1st place, 2nd Matt Psycho. Gap pretty consistent between the two. JJ Trim is in 3rd. Have a look further down the field. Slenderfella 8th. He's going quicker than he has been before through the first sector. Kaisergrim still on the hard tyres, so he's going different to his teammate. He's ahead of the Punisher though, with Aloe also on hards. Bloodraven is on the softs. Hard still for Pull Shark, so he's not changed his tyres. And Yokas on the mediums. So Slenderfella still leads the race by 5 seconds now. The gap is opening up again once more. You can see Matt Psycho just behind in his Lamborghini. So it's the halfway mark and Speckmere leading, looking very strong in his Supra. He's got soft tyres throughout this race to take as well. Fuel loads all look fairly similar, although Ajax under a lot of pressure from Bunnies. Bunnies deciding going to make a go of this. My soft tyres are fresher than your mediums, and will he get the run coming out of turn number 7? It looks like he will. Going down the hill, and he takes another place up into 4th place. Bunnies now in his Jaguar, just getting the car to turn just on that wider line. Could have ended up on the marbles but does not. So Ajax in 5th. Ragimus trying to keep himself calm. 6th place, a good result. Could be on the cards still after leading early on. His hard tyres he's trying to get rid of, trying to live through this part of the race. Rob on drums, he's got softs throughout the race left for him, so he can relax really, knowing what car he has underneath him. The same for Slenderfella now. He started on the hards and he's going quickly. He's about 2nd off the fastest lap. So he can bring himself further up the field. Kaisergrim on hard tyres, trying something different. Punisher is in 10th with Aloe 11th. Not a circuit for Aloe. Bloodraven he's on the soft tyres. He's got a 40-second gap to him and Pool Shark. Pool Shark not enjoying this race. Hard still though for him. And mediums for Yarkas, who's half a minute down on Pool Shark. Spekmir just set the fastest lap on the previous lap of 140.5. Wow, that's half a second up on that Psycho's previous best. So he's really pushing hard, keeping it all together. We've got 18 laps left of this race, and Spekmir really is quite happy with his pace, quite happy with his car. He's in the 40s. He's the only driver in that area right now. Matt Psycho can only respond with a 41.4. So he's falling back against the Supra. As we see, JJ Trim has just lapped one of... it must be Pool Shark. In the Raven Senna, as Pool Shark hits the wall in the background, you can see that is where the time is lost, really. Hit the wall and it all starts going wrong. Keeps out of the way of Bunnies, who is catching up JJ Trim. 1.7 seconds on the previous lap, so Bunnies could get himself onto the podium here this evening. Ajax in 5th. Front tyres starting to look a little bit angry now. Ragemus is in 6th place, but he's got Rob on drums right behind him. Into the pits comes Kaisergrim. Kaisergrim drops down. Long way from the pit box, it would seem. Rob on drums then. All the pressure is on Ragemus once more. Rob on drums. First ever champion in SNL. He was the Porsche Cup champion in season number 1 all those years ago. He's looking for the inside on Ragemus. Ever present here in SNL and ever present really in GTE. He's only missed 3 races in the whole of the championship. Looking for a great result here this evening. Slenderfella is in 8th. He's sort of in no man's land, as is the Punisher. So a few of these drivers are actually on their own, it would seem. Looks like Bloodraven is catching up to Aloe. It's into the pits and onto the medium tyres went Kaisergrim for his run as he tries to get to the end of the race from here. A little bit of a touch of the barrier. Spekmir looking very happy at the front of the field again, still in the 40s. Matsoko has no response to it, in fact running a little bit wide now. This is where the fatigue starts coming in. He's feeling under the weather. 37 minutes into a race, after a qualifying session, you really start suffering. He would be hoping he can get to the end now. It's about damage limitation in this race for him. Spekmir, though, putting himself in a very, very good position to take the lead of this championship. In fact, if it finishes as it does, he would finish the day in front of the championship with 45 points. Like Psycho, 44 points. And Ajax would have 43 points. So it'd be very close, but that's the way it would be. JJ Trim has got the attentions of Bunnies. He's also got Kaisergrim to lap. Bunnies setting his fastest lap of the race. He's in the 140s now, as well as Spekmir. A lot of curb, a lot of confidence being taken by Bunnies into turn 1. So JJ Trim, he is third. He's got the attention of a very fast looking Jaguar as they go through turn 3 and 4. Bunny's fighting the back of the Jaguar though, losing a bit of time in the process. Not all going his way. He's lost about a second on JJ Trim in this lap, but he's gaining it back again. Ajax currently in 5th. Still, Ragimus is ahead of Rob on drums. He's got all the attention of Rob on drums. Rob on drums is going to have a go though. Down this straight section. We've seen Bunnies make this move, and it's Rob on drums that makes the move down the hill. Hits the man with the flag. It's a good job you don't hit the flag, really. Rob on drums up into 6th place then, as the Punisher is in the pits. They'll be getting rid of those hard tyres, I'm sure. He'll be very happy about that. No, he's keeping them on. So he keeps the hards. So it must be going to the end of the race. Is he? Speckmere in 11th place. 11th place, he's leading the race. Sorry. Apologies, Speckmere. And apologies, Chris Boo. You suddenly would have a heart attack if you weren't watching the screen. Speckmere in 1st place, 7.3 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho now. Psycho did close up on the previous lap by less than a 10th. It's real domination from the Supra driver. As we see in the background, that looked like that could have been a Lowy. Having some issues. As JJ Trim. Chris Boo saying just did in response to having a bit of a heart flutter. Chris Boo watching on as Bunnies then. He's seen this move happen before. Can he make the move stick? No, he's not quite got the momentum to make the move on JJ Trim. JJ Trim stays in 3rd. He holds off Bunnies down into turn number 10. He will be pitting this lap though. I wonder if Bunnies has worked that out. Bunnies currently 4th. 10.5 seconds gap to Ajax. 5-second gap for Speckmere, who actually had a very slow lap of 45.3 on the previous lap. Matt Psycho 42.3. So 3 seconds of the lead have just disappeared. JJ Trim into the pits then. That releases Bunnies up into 3rd. Got a good battle for 3rd place here this evening between these two, it would seem. There's purple overalls for JJ Trim. In they go. Rob on drums overtakes his teammates, put himself up into 5th. So right now, it's looking good for Chris Boo's Shadow Realm Team Shadow Realm. I keep doing it the wrong way around, sorry Chris Boo. They look like they could have a very strong result here. 3 cars in the top 6 possible here this evening. Slenderfella is in 7th, but he's off kilter with everyone. He will have to stop. JJ Trim is pitting. Will Aloy overtake him? Probably not, although he looks a little bit too far behind. He is just coming out of the final corners. JJ Trim leaves the pits now. So JJ Trim, the gap, about 47 seconds. So the pit stops are long here. JJ Trim is 1.1 minute 8. Slenderfella has got past Ragimus. Ragimus dropping down to 7th place. Again, it's that overtake down the hill. We've seen it a lot this evening. That seems to be the best place to do it. Slenderfella puts himself up into 6th. So we've got blue flags waving all around. Something's happening with Speckmere. He has lost a lot of time once more. 145.2 and a 141.89 for Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho suddenly has a sniff here. He's a second off Speckmere. Half the tyres worn out on Speckmere's car. They look a little bit more worn than Matt Psycho's. Suspect me suffering possibly with some tyre wear. The previous 2 laps, the first couple of mistakes, they were quite big. From the race leader, he's got 12.5 laps to go. And he's got Mike Psycho catching him up, but he'll be stopping this lap. So he'll be hoping, so will Matt Psycho. So it's going to be a race in the pit lane between these 2 drivers. Final corner. I wonder if he's dipping a tyre into that gravel, possibly. In he comes. In comes Matt Psycho as well. Will Buddy's pit, or will he keep going? He'll probably pit, I would have expected. Unless he feels he can keep the fuel going one more lap. So Ajax will take the lead once more in this race. There is Speckman in the pits. So is Matt Psycho. They are fighting here. Both fuel and tyres stops for the race leaders. Top 2 in the race. Bunnies will come in as well. Where is he? He's not there yet. So that means that Ajax will retake the lead in the Hyundai. So he goes up into first place. Bunnies is there in the pits now. Rob on drums and Slenderfellow are both in. They've both got 0 fuel. It's a race between these 2. Who's going out first? It is Speckmere, and Matt Psycho is on the hards. That is the gap between the 2. It is less than a second. It's about 7/10. But Speckmere has the better tyres. He's got the softs. Will he be able to pull away from Matt Psycho now for the last 12 laps of this race? Everybody's coming out of the pits. Bunny's out is ahead of JJ Trim. JJ Trim unable to catch Bunny's. Rob on drums. He's in the pits. He's got the best on the fuel. Slenderfella 8th. 9th place then is a Lowy. 9th is a Lowy. He's coming into the pits. So it looks like Rob on drums is going to put himself up into 6th place. There he goes into 6th. So he's got a race then with Slenderfellow for the last few laps. 6 seconds between the 2. What can Slenderfellow do? Ragemus is down in 8th. This race has gone away from him slightly, it would appear. There is Ajax leading it though. The championship leader leading once more. He'd wish the race stopped now. But it won't, unless everything went completely wrong. And Speckmere in second. He's just 1 second ahead of Matt Psycho, but Matt Psycho has the hard tyre. The hard tyre is a nice race tyre. But even if it's a nice race tyre, I don't think it's quite as nice as the soft around Sardinia. So the gap between them. So 26.9, 27.4. So half a second pulled out by Speckmere on that lap. Bunny's in 4th place. He's got soft tyres on. Is he going to get a chance? 21.8. I'll tell you what, he gained 6 seconds. Matt Psycho's not 100 miles away. Can he get second here tonight? That might be his carrot. JJ Trim in 5th. He's racing Ajax. As it stands, he probably will get ahead of him. Rob on drums has pulled away 0.2 of a second on that last lap. In fact, it says 2 seconds on there, but we saw it about 6 seconds as they left the pits. So 0.2 happening there. Ragemus down in 8th. He'll be wondering what happened for that to be the case. The Punisher coming in this lap, and Bloodraven will jump him. Lowy is in 11th place. There is Bullshark in 12th. Still on those hard tyres. So we'll be putting softs to finish the race, I'm sure. Kaisergrim is in 13th place. And Jokas in 14th. But at the front is their teammate, Ajax, championship leader. Having a good race, really, considering the tyre options. Speckmere, 3.5 seconds up on Matt Psycho now. 41.0 on his first flying lap, compared to a 43.0 for Matt Psycho. Chris Boo will be sipping a beer, thinking, there we go, that is why we went double softs here at Sardinia. We are pushing for a championship. Bunny's in 4th, catching Matt Psycho, 41.9, so a second a lap. Ooh, it's not going to be enough, is it? It's got 10 laps to go, including the one they're on. JJ Trim stays in 5th. Rob on drums, 42.0 for him on the previous lap. He is in 6th place and having a fantastic run in that Supra. Slenderfella in 7th, Ragemus in 8th. Bloodraven is in 9th. 10th is Aloe, so Aloe catching up with Bloodraven. It's not been Aloe's night. It's just set a 41.6, so that's not a bad lap time. It says it was a second quicker than he has gone before. So maybe not too much practice around the circuit for Aloe. Punisher is in 11th. Kaisergrim in 12th. He's now ahead of Poolshark, who's on the soft tyre. Front of the field though, Ajax leading the field by 10.9 seconds. He is getting caught up though by Speckmere, 41.5 for him. He's keeping on it. He knows he can't really slow down. You have to just run at your pace. If you start slowing down, you start making mistakes, and that's possibly what happened towards the end of his second stint. Maybe he was just taking it a little bit easier with the tyres as they were starting to wear out. Possibly, I'm just speculating. But he's looking incredibly strong. It doesn't look like it's been anybody else's race, really, other than his this evening. That Psycho currently in 3rd, but that will become 2nd place. And 43.2. Oh, Bunnies is closing rapidly. So Bunnies will be catching up Matt Psycho. Into the pits comes Ajax. JJ Trim will move up into 4th place. I'm sure Rob on drums, will he move up in the field? As Matt Psycho moves up into 2nd place. There is Speckmere in 1st once more. In the pits is Ajax, getting his set of hard tyres, I would expect. So there goes JJ Trim. And Rob on drums has got soft tyres, Ajax has got the hards. To finish this race, the gap between them was 51 seconds. It is now down, well, that I think was Ajax. About 10 seconds is the gap. So that actually is Kaisergrim in front of Rob on drums. So 8 seconds between Rob on drums and Ajax. Suspect me out. He's got 8 laps to go, including the one he's on. I wonder if he wants it to end or if he just wants it to keep going and going and going. I It's such a nice feeling leading a race, and he's led this race so well. He's been in the groove all evening, and when it's like that, it's just a pleasure to drive. He's got traffic ahead of him, that will be a little bit of a nerve, but he's catching it at the right point on the straight, so just hope they see him. That's Bloodraven. They led him through. No, not letting him through on this bit, so it starts getting a little bit scary for Speckmere. A little bit of a flash of the light to say, look, I'm here, and the race leader, come on, let me through. He's just slowing me down. There we go. Blue flags being waved. That Psycho catching up to, that must be, yeah, it's Yokas. Bunnies is catching Matt Psycho 41.5, 42.6, so another second. Oh, it's going to be incredibly close between these two drivers. Bunnies has to keep his tyres fresh though. We've seen that before with Bunnies, he's not very kind on his tyres. Ajax is actually seemingly catching up JJ Trim. Will he drag Rob on drums along with him? I'm not sure. Slender Fella there in 7th place. Ragemus in 8th. And a Lowy 9th. 10th is Bloodraven. Just starts to fall back from the Lowy. He's going to make the top 10. All being well, the Punisher has got Bunnies behind him. Bunnies with the Punisher, which is just going wide out of the final corner. Bunnies maybe not catching up quick enough. Another 41.0 and a 42.8, so it's still in the balance. Monocytes will be cheering Matthew on. I think everybody will be cheering on Speckmere, a very popular member of the SNL community. He's leading this race, he's looked unstoppable all evening. It's just coming up to lap Aloe, who is a very, very close racer of Speckmere. They were teammates in Formula 8 a few seasons ago. They were always side by side. They always seem to be near each other, but not this evening. Speckmere's been in a class of his own, taking that very bad dragon for the ride of its life. Mona Sykes in the chat saying she certainly is cheering her son on. There he is. He's in a no man's land really between Speckmere and Bunnies. He's keeping the pace up. Bunnies, well, he's got to keep pushing and finding the time. He's got the Punisher alongside him for the ride. Punisher keeping pace with him. Let's have a look down the field. JJ Trim is still in 4th. That gap though between Ajax and Rob on drums is closing. 42.0, 43.2. So we could have Rob on drums in the top 5 by the end of this race. That could be 3 Supras in the top 5. That would definitely put them at the top of the team championship. Who will be rubbing his hands together. It's paid off as this super soft option. They went medium and hards at the first round, and then they've gone double soft here. Speckmere came 3rd there. He's going to bring this home. It's 10 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho now. Is Matt Psycho suffering? He's 3 seconds down on his best lap. He's had a bit of an off in the Lamborghini. That will give Bunnies cause for celebration a little bit. You can see Matt Psycho there. Bunnies is chasing him down. You can see the Lamborghini just ahead. Can't quite see the red Jaguar Racing by Pizza Pizza. Jaguar. Gazman in the chat saying, go bunnies. 3 seconds is the gap. It's closing ever so much. Expect me, we'll look at that time and say I'm 10.6 seconds in the lead of this race. And I've got 4 laps to go. 35, lap 36, lap 37, and lap 38. That's how counting works. You'd be surprised how many forget how to count. I expect me leading this field. Matt Psycho, I wonder if it is starting to pay. An hour into this race. That's why it's endurance racing. Ron the Sykes in the chat saying, go Matt. Oh, we could have a battle. Oh, there's Victory Rain as well. Come on, Matt. So it's Gazman in the chat versus 2. Victory Rain and Mama Sykes. Going to be fighting in the chat soon. There's JJ Trim in 4th place. I wonder who Chris Blue wants to finish 2nd. He'll want JJ Trim to finish 2nd, I'm sure. But Ajax is catching him up. And Rob on drums all of a sudden. Hold on a second. Hold your phone, everyone. Rob on drums could be in 4th by the end of this race. JJ Trim falling down a little bit. He did a 47.6 on his previous lap. A 44.5 for Ajax. And oh no, Rob on drums. No! The curse of the commentator. I'm so sorry. Oh, it was looking so good. And that might have put a pay to that dream of 4th place. Maybe he was listening and he heard that. I really hope not. Curse of the commentator. I'm sorry, Rob. Matt Psycho, though, is pushing 2nd place. Bunnies, though. He's got the soft tyres. They are starting to wear out, though. But Matt Psycho on the hards. He's got 2.5 laps left. Or just over 2 laps. The Specmere comes across now. Sorry, 3 laps. Just 3 laps to go for Matt Psycho and Bunnies. So the Lamborghini versus the Jaguar. Raven Senna Lamborghini versus Jaguar Racing by Pizza Pizza. Do they do good pizzas? They're not Canadian, so I don't know. Find out, are they just like pizza boats or Domino's of the Canadian world? Have a look then. JJ Trim under pressure from Ajax. 4th place was on, I think, for Rob on drums. Great pace from the American. Would have been there to back up his teammate as well. Ajax is pushing hard. Can he put himself up into 4th? Really pushing that Psycho. In fact, keeping that gap up. 42.7 and 41.4. It is reducing the gap, but at a slower rate. Let's have a look. Ajax all over the back of JJ Trim. This is the point we've seen a lot of drivers making moves. Ajax moves out of the slipstream and puts himself up into 4th place. He's done it. He did it already. He did not need the run down the hill. He's put his car up into 4th. So let's have a look then at the gap between Matt Psycho and Bunnies. It's only 1.2 seconds. It is stabilising. 2 laps to go. Specmere is leading. Matt Psycho is 2nd. And Bunnies is 3rd. Ajax is 4th. 5th is JJ Trim. Rob on drums. Oh, Rob. He's flying along. He's got Slenderfella right behind him still. Slenderfella could get 6th. He's pushing hard. Everybody's pushing. In his final 2 laps, they've all got things to fight for. That Psycho holding on to 2nd place right now. Bunnies chasing him down. It's SNL, you know what's going to happen. It's going to be a final lap showdown between them. Specmere there in 1st. Matt Psycho 2nd. Bunnies is following, but he's not close enough going down the downhill. He's got to gain a second in the next lap. I would have thought that's his best place to overtake. Oh no, 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 no! That's Speckmere! Speckmere's disconnected! No way! No way! I cannot believe it! Speckmere's disconnected! What on earth? Bunnies is in second place. Matt Psycho all of a sudden is leading this race. Oh, Bunny's hit the wall. Victory Rain in the chat saying, holy, Matt, send it. And then Gazman has said, no, gutted for Speckmere. We've never seen that in SNL. Chris Boo has just put his arms up in the air. He can't believe it. Slenderfella is in the pits. He's run out of fuel. Rob on drums in fourth place, fifth place, fourth place is possible. He could have been on the podium tonight. Rob on drums. Matt Psycho is leading this race. He's flashing his lights, trying to get Bloodraven out of the way. Bunny's in second. Speckmere, I don't know what to say. I genuinely don't know what to say. The car was going slowly. It was a complete disconnect. Speckmere. Well, I don't normally say this, but Speckmere is the rightful winner of this race. Oh, Matt Psycho having to go round the outside, the long way round of Bloodraven. But I wonder how he'll feel with this. He feels awful, but he's going to win the race. Matt Psycho wins here at Sardinia. Bunnies is in second place. Bloodraven 9th, 10th is the Punisher. Ajax is going to finish in third place. He's on the podium. I don't know how everyone will feel. Crosses the line. He's just got across the line. As the two Supras, Rob on drums. Oh my word! JJ Tribb just takes it from Rob on drums. Whoa, what a difference. Rager's Prime there in 6th. Kaiser Grim in 11th. Slenderfella is going to finish in 7th place. So, 2 laps down is Yokas. Pool Shark in 12th. Kaiser Grim in 11th. Rob on drums saying curses what could have been. It could have been a podium. The way it played out, Rob on drums could have got a podium, but I don't know if he'd have celebrated too hard with it because this race was Speckmere's. This race was Speckmere's. Mama Sykes in the chat saying, flipping heck. Awesome, Matt. Don't you just love SNL? That Psycho saying Speckmere deserved that. Aloe crosses in 8th. Victory Rain in the chat saying, even when I'm not driving, I'm somehow associated with final lap drama. Well, there it is. Matt Psycho takes the victory. Sick Children's Trust on the back there as well. If you can, go to their website, donate. Great Ormond Street as well, and BOSP. But the story of the race, well, it's a win for Matt Psycho. victory reign. He is the team boss that has won this race, and he's just said gutted for Speckmere. Solid drive, Rob. Matt Psycho wins in an evening that was Speckmere's. Gazman in the chat saying he has no words. Chris Boo saying, oh no. Well done, everyone. Bunny's in second place. He was just 1 second away from the victory in the end. Ajax in third. That puts him in the championship lead. I believe. No, Matt Psycho then takes the championship lead going into this based on that. JJ Trim just pipping his teammate Rob on drums to 4th place. Rob on drums, best finish for him in GTE in 5th. 6th was Ragemus Prime in the orange Aston Martin OC. 7th was Slenderfella in his Jaguar Racing by Pizza Pizza. Aloe was 8th in his Aston Martin. 9th was Bloodhaven in his Jaguar. 10th was the Punisher. 11th was Kaiser Grim. 12th was Pool Shark. I'm going to call it 13th place Speckmere because he did get further on than Yokas. He led the race. He has the fastest lap. He dominated tonight. And he got a disconnect. 14th place Yokas. And 15th, Craig O.B., who had a disconnection as well. Where do you start with that race? It's unbelievable. If it had been 2 laps shorter, it was Speckmere's. Matt Psycho wins here at Sardinia. He takes the lead in the championship as well with that result. Well, what can you say? But hard luck to Speckmere. Join us next weekend for more of this action here at SNL. Like, share and subscribe. And good night, everybody. Join us next week. Round number 3 at Barcelona. Speckmere is going to be back for the win, I'm sure. Join us next week. Good night.